If you've ever started your car, shifted it into park, and noticed the engine suddenly revving up without touching the gas pedal, you're not alone. It's a familiar sight, something I've seen more times than I can count in my years under the hood. This kind of unexpected revving might seem harmless, but I'll tell you straight, it's not something you want to ignore. A car should run smooth, predictable, without surprises. So let's get into it. Figure out why it's happening and make sure you get it fixed before it turns into something worse. It's the Car Problems YouTube channel. Subscribe and let's get started. What's actually happening? Back in my day, when a car started acting like it had a mind of its own, we'd joke about gremlins in the engine. But trust me, there's nothing supernatural going on here, just cold, hard mechanics. When a car revs up on its own while in park, it's a sign that something's not quite right. The engine relies on a delicate balance of sensors, fuel delivery, and air intake to maintain a steady idle, and if one of these components is off, the RPMs can surge unexpectedly. This issue, known as unintended acceleration at idle, isn't just an odd quirk. It can lead to excessive fuel consumption, unnecessary strain on the engine, and in some cases, even safety concerns. Ignoring it could turn a small problem into a costly repair down the road. Let's get to the bottom of what's causing it before it does any real damage. Throttle body, the gatekeeper of airflow. Over the years, I've seen more than a few engines misbehave because of that little mechanism getting gunked up with carbon and grime. On older vehicles with a cable-driven throttle, it's usually a matter of buildup, physically preventing the plate from shutting all the way. But even the fancy electronic throttle controls in newer cars aren't immune. Dirt in the system can mess with the sensor readings, tricking the engine into taking in more air than it should. The result? RPMs, climbing without you asking them to. A little cleaning goes a long way here, and trust me, it's worth doing before that buildup turns into a full-blown headache. I'd wager it's the culprit in more cases than people realize. The idle air control valve. Now there's a part that doesn't get the appreciation it deserves. This little component is responsible for regulating airflow when you're not pressing the gas, keeping the engine idling at just the right speed. But when it gets clogged up with carbon deposits or starts to fail, things go sideways fast. I've seen engines surge unpredictably at stoplights or idle so high that it sounds like they're ready to take off. If the IAC isn't doing its job, your car ends up guzzling more fuel and putting extra strain on vital parts. Cleaning it out or replacing it when needed can save you from headaches down the road, and trust me, it's a simple fix that can make all the difference. Vacuum leaks. One of those sneaky little problems that can cause a whole mess of trouble. Engines are designed to operate with precisely measured airflow, and when a vacuum hose cracks or slips loose, suddenly the whole system gets thrown off balance. The engine starts gulping down more air than it should, and the computer, trying to compensate, bumps up the fuel delivery to match. The result? A higher than normal idle, sometimes erratic, sometimes steady, but never something you want to ignore. Back in the day, I'd grab a can of carb cleaner and carefully spray around the vacuum lines. When the engine changed its tune, I knew I'd found the culprit. Nowadays, diagnostic tools make it easier, but the problem remains the same. A quick check of hoses can save you time, money, and frustration down the road. Faulty mass airflow sensor. The mass airflow sensor, a small but mighty piece of equipment that keeps the engine running just right. This little device measures the exact amount of air coming in, helping the computer balance fuel and air for smooth operation. But when it gets dirty or starts giving faulty readings, everything gets thrown off. The engine, thinking it's starved for air, ramps up the RPMs to compensate, leading to that unexpected surge. I've seen plenty of engines acting up because of a grimy MAF sensor. A simple cleaning can often restore order, but if the sensor's gone bad entirely, replacing it might be the only way to keep your car from running like it's got a mind of its own. Bad throttle position sensor. The throttle position sensor, one of those little components that can cause big headaches when it starts acting up. This sensor's job is simple. It tells the engine control unit exactly how much you're pressing the gas pedal so the engine can adjust fuel and air accordingly. But when it starts sending faulty signals, things can get messy fast. The ECU might think you're flooring it when you're barely touching the pedal, leading to unexpected acceleration, rough idling, or even hesitation when you actually do want to speed up. I've seen cars lurch forward unpredictably or struggle to maintain a steady idle, all because of a misbehaving TPS. If your car's acting like it has a mind of its own, checking this sensor should be high on your list. A bad TPS can throw off everything from fuel efficiency to drivability, and trust me, it's not something you want to ignore. What you should do about it. If your car's acting up in park, I'd start with the throttle body. Grime and carbon buildup can keep that plate from closing properly, letting in more air than the engine needs. A good cleaning might be all it takes to smooth things out. Next, grab an OBD2 scanner and check for any stored fault codes. If there's a vacuum leak, you might hear a hissing sound, so take a close look at the hoses to see if anything's cracked or disconnected. The mass airflow sensor could be playing tricks too. Give it a careful cleaning. While you're at it, check the idle air control valve and throttle position sensor. If none of these reveal the problem, it's time to get a professional involved for ECU diagnostics. A skilled mechanic can dig deeper and pinpoint what's really going on.